Are we on? Yes, I believe we're live. Okay. So just gonna set up the iPad. Let's see what's going on. It's gonna take a minute. Just have to reload QuickTime. I don't know what's going on with it. It should be finding my iPad. There we go. All right, we're in. Cool. All right, this is I think number, I don't know what we're up to. I think we're up to number 10. I think this is number 10 of the Kick-Ass Study Stream. So we're on the second week, technically the third, but yeah, we're just about there. Today was a kind of busy day with all that was going on over here. I just launched a Patreon page. That's at my page is Catapano Art, so it's patreon.com/CatapanoArt, and on there and on my YouTube channel, if you go to my channel, you can see the video for my Patreon there as well. It's the Star Circuit intro, so if you're into that, it's there. So yeah, took a while to make that video today. A lot of video editing, but I figured today we'd work on faces, because it's what I should be drawing for the most part. And we're going to move a little bit away from studying the structure, and we're just going to go for the organic shapes and see where we get. So let me just open up Clip Studio. Cool. All right. I need to be drawing from life, but we're going to be drawing from pictures, obviously, because I don't have anybody around. Let's just do 17 by 11. All right. I really like the tools in Clip Studio. They're like very more to my liking than Procreate. There's no playback, but who cares? All right, let's find some reference. I did post on everything, I think, for streaming, but we'll see. Yo, what up, Jeremiah? Saw your video, your stuff. Looks tight. Looks good. All right. Yeah, I gotta find some faces to draw. I'm gonna look up some reference. So let's do that. Let's make a smaller video here. let's look at some cool stuff here. Let's draw some. Let's start with old people, because that's usually something that's not easier, but yeah, it's a little bit more intuitive right away, because you don't have to be super clean with lines. It's not drawing women, attractive dudes and whatnot. The lines have to be pretty clean. But let's start out with like an old person here. Let's see. And we're just gonna sketch through some. There's some really crazy ones on here. I'm really just looking for something different. Dude, old ladies are nuts looking. Old ladies, man. Dude, this one's kind of cute. Not in that way, you know what I mean? She's cute in a way, there we go. So here, that's the one. Like cute in is in like, cute little old lady. She's got those crazy earrings. But her features are kind of like unique. So that's what I'm talking about. We're gonna try to do some. I might actually do this on my iPad, that way I can see it. I'm gonna do it down here, guys. So bear with me. I was looking up Andrew Loomis before. Let's just look up, we're looking at old lady portraits. Like how I literally look up old lady portraits. There we go. Look at that. Okay. Let's see if this will work here. Do that, and then we do this. Check that out. That's badass. Willem Dafoe face. Jeremy, are you drunk again? Dafoe? Yeah, Dafoe is the weirdest looking dude ever. That's why he was the best Green Goblin, because like the dude's face was like pretty goblin-like anyway. Alright. Got my pencil. Let's draw this stuff. I think I'm gonna go with a different color. And maybe do 2 different passes for each face. What up, RJ? I saw you comment a little whiles back on my comic penciling stuff. No, this is Club Studio. It used to be called Manga Studio, and they just switched over and introduced it to iPad at a kind of large fee. They are charging, I think it's like $7 a month, which is crazy. But they do give like a half a year time to get accustomed to having to pay. So yeah, your free trial is like 6 months long. So, but it's a really good one. I really like the program. It's a sweet alternative, but there's plenty of free alternatives out there that don't get as much support, you know, and which is a good and a bad thing, because really support is half of the game. A lot of times your program will crash, and you know, if there's no one there to help you, there's just no one there to help you. So here I'm trying to break down the face into the sphere, and then where the jaw comes out. Alright, so Just do Andrew Loomis style and shave the side of the head. And as you can see, I'm not just drawing from sight. I'm trying to break it down to figure out what's really going on. And then underneath, I'll draw from sight. So there's your little Andrew Loomis cross for the brow. There's your little hairline. She's looking up, so her brow seems a little higher than usual, but we'll make that the nose. There's her chin. Oh, thanks for sharing the Patreon vid, Jeremy. I pretty much did that video all today, but obviously I did the art and then edited the video. It took forever, but yeah, appreciate the share. So your vertical slice is 10 minutes wide. Is that what you mean? And then RJ, yeah, we're gonna just draw faces today, man. It's what I need to work on. It's probably what, if you want to get into comics, it's what you need to work on too. It's half of what we do, or it's the half that people notice the most. It's not really something that you need to. Pretty much saying that you need to worry about everything. It's just it's the one thing that people do notice the most if you can't do it right. So I'm just breaking down this first layer. I'm just using kind of what you know about a face, and how you break it down. So like into thirds here, the brow, nose, chin, and then the hairline at the top. And then she's got some weird, things on the side, and her ears are elongated, obviously. Thanks, Jeremy. Across the USA, US of A. It's all across the world, man. I've got some followers on it, man. I got some decent bidders. Hopefully I'm going to pick up some more, because the more I get money on there for my Star Circuit stuff, the less I can less have to take jobs doing other people's stories. I can work on that. So here I'm trying to draw the skull a little bit just to get the sockets where they're at. And her nose is super flat, so if you draw a contour line, it's not going to go very far. It's like super flat. This eye is crazy slanted too. You guys hear the music in the background? Let me know. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do, because I've been talking to other people about streaming, and I'm trying to figure out how to get music in the background and in the right way. So I'll get flagged for the music I'm playing, but I don't care. I'm just trying to see if it comes out through the sound. Let me know. Let me know what the balance is like. Alright, so from the nose down to the chin, it breaks into thirds, where the first third is the mouth line, the actual crease where the mouth opens, and then the other third is where the chin happens. So I usually draw that as a circle. If you do the Riley method, everything's in circles. So where the eyes hit up to the hairline is a circle, and that's, if you draw that circle in, you'll usually get just about to the other plane of the face. Like here, there's the other plane of the face. And then if you draw from the top of the nose and loop around like a gas mask or a hospital mask, that's the line for the denture. And then if you draw a line up from there to where the ear would be, which is at the brow line. That's kind of your pretty much the cut line for how wide the face is, and her face is not as wide as this, so I'm going to undo a little bit, or not as skinny as this face, so I'm going to undo a little bit. Okay, can't hear the music. Barely. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty low over here too. Maybe I'm gonna put this on and turn on the monitor just so I can hear for a second what this thing's sounding like. We gotta test this out. Okay. Stream output. Oh no, it's in the mixer. Okay. 1 second. Monitor. Let me know how crazy that is for you guys. All right. Let's see if we can get some structure out of here. I don't really like the Riley method because it's, I don't know, it's just not the way I think about faces really. The way David Finch does his faces is the way I break things down. Let me see if I can find that video for you guys. And then I'll screenshot it to show you. Let's see. Okay. So this is Dave Finch. Not gonna play. I hopefully don't get pulled for it. I'm trying to find his mannequin head. These are eyes. I'm looking for his mannequin head. Oh, look at that. Getting pledges. It's the same video I just clicked. Alright. So here he's breaking it down into like a little bit of a mannequin type head. Let's see. I'm gonna go back to the very first video and see, just so I have an example. Yeah, these are more like it. See that head there? He puts in pretty much from the skull. From the skull, he's pulling this line here. So it's the shaped side of the head, and then where the eye sockets go, and then he pulls into where the shadow would be. So he pulls like that on his breakdown of his mannequin, which is pretty cool. Now there's no sound. Really? No sound at all? That doesn't make any sense. Good? Okay. Just put on a little music. I'm probably going to get pulled from that. But sweet. Alright, so okay, I got you, RJ. Yeah, you're a little bit behind the stream. I got you. Alright, so Dave Finch, let me screenshot this and throw it in here. Alright. So this is how he's breaking down his head. I'll just stick at the bottom here. Okay. So that's what we're going to try to do here, even though it's an old lady head. Same concept. Alright. So let's check it out. Let's do this. So I'm only working on heads a lot because it's not that I suck at them. It's just that it's something I don't gravitate to immediately. I don't know, for some reason I'm just not into that. So I'm more drawn to actually just the figure drawing part, but yeah, he pretty much that. When you draw Iron Man, that's pretty much what he does. He has if they have the eyes there, he draws the skull shape, which ends up turning out looking like the Iron Man, like, you know, mask. If you know what I mean. Okay, I'm gonna erase that. Alright, so I think I have all I really need to move on for right now. Let's do that. So I'm just going to grab the soft eraser, jack it up a bit, erase a little bit, and we're going to go on top. Show you why am I doing that. We can totally use layers. Being a little weird. Okay. I'm going to use a mechanical pencil replica here. Yeah, I got you. I got your text. Thanks. Yeah, forget. They lag it. I have it set to lagging a good amount. That way the stream is more coherent for playback later on. So I think that's why it lags more than maybe others. I don't care about one-to-one. I care about people like maybe going back and reviewing the tape. But maybe that's a bad choice. If there's enough people watching, I need to get feedback back and forth quicker. I can change those settings if you guys want. It all depends on how many people start watching. For now, I like where it's at. Alright, so let's get this cute little lady face. Right now the head shape's a little manly, but that's just because of the hard shapes. Alright. Chin is a little bit smaller. Right around this area is her jowl, little line here. Who else was watching E3 today? It's been crazy all week. Been watching like a mad dog. Trying to get as much trailers in on my spare time as I can. There's so much good games coming out. All right. On a 5. That's fine. Okay. So I'm just outlining the bottom of the shadow of the nose. Seems a little wide and off center though. Like her head is this way. Let's pull back. See him getting more patrons. That's good. All right. I'm a little rusty today because I didn't draw at all. I was doing video editing. That's what happens. No worry. You warm up pretty quick. For this first one, I'm going to be cheating a little bit more than I usually would. Because it's the warm-up I need. Regina Johnson. Thank you. Oh shit, yeah, Overcooked too, man. I'm all about it. I'm all about grabbing food and cooking stuff virtually. Though me and my girlfriend might get into a fight or just cause a fight over it. Alright. minor drawing here. It's not cool. But I'm going to start adding features and hopefully I can find my way. Sometimes this happens. Just using kind of more value to figure out where I'm at. That's so funny. I don't know what you're guessing at, Ant, but I'm pretty sure that's hilarious. What's the other game we saw today that was really good? That's so funny. All right. Let's throw some eyes in here. This first one's gonna be rough. See if we can mold it into what we want. Too far away. Trying to find the eyes here by lining it up. Really, the volume? The volume on my voice or on the music or what? Because I could turn up the mic a little bit. I turn the volume down because other stuff's going on in the house. Sometimes my girlfriend is doing things and my dog are barking. They're both not barking. One is watching TV and the other one's barking. Yeah, Fire Emblem and Mario Party, dude. For sure. Alright. Let's see if we can get something out of this face. This is what I'm going to do. The whole face is pretty squished, or elongated rather. Let's see if we can... Oh no, wrong one. Let's do that. Let's see what we can get here. It could be. The volume level. I turned up the volume levels a little bit. Hopefully that helped. And Regina, thanks for checking out the stream. I don't know if Todd's around, but obviously I think he's been keeping an eye on my art, and once in a while I hear from him. But yeah, appreciate all the support. You guys are awesome. So, you got Anthony? Did you sound or not sound? Did you see the Death Stranding trailer? It's like it's got Norman Reedus and done by Kojima, but it looks nuts. It looks like the craziest. It looks like the craziest sci-fi movie you've ever seen, but as a game. Alright, let's get this witch's crazy ears. I don't want to call her a witch. She's probably a nice lady. These giant horseshoes for earrings here. Doesn't look like her, but we're getting closer, at least. Try not to focus on the small details because they're not really important right now. Trying to focus on her head shape. Looks like her, dude. That's hilarious. Yeah, man, it was a secret. It's my secret project. Drawing Hillary Clinton. That's super funny. I'm just trying to reform her face, man. The head shape is what's doing it to me here. That's hilarious. It does kind of look like her. Especially in the small thumbnail. I did the old lady because I thought it was going to be easier than not, but maybe I was deceived. I think the small details are making me distracted. Yeah, definitely go check out Death Stranding, man. So good. Probably went too far out with those, but this lady's ears are nuts. And ladies and gentlemen, this is literally why I'm practicing faces, because this is a struggle. You gotta do what you suck at, for sure. Any music requests? Because I mean, I don't think I'm gonna get pulled, because I'm not trying to make any money with this, and that's pretty much all I do is like report you, and so any money that you try to make off these videos, you just can't. So as long as I don't put any ads on them, I think I can play whatever I want. There's no money to be made. The joke's on you. Thing is, it's weird, man. It's like you don't want to focus on the little details, but some of the little details really are super big features for this woman. It's like what makes her look like her. I mean, getting the proportions right is huge too, obviously. But it's definitely looking closer. It's just a long warm-up period today. I literally haven't drawn all day. It's sad. I hate days like this. I feel not like myself. Just like video editing, and I mean, E3 took me away from a little bit too. It's all good, Regina. Thanks for stopping by. You know, I do this every day at 8. I hear my voice is great to fall asleep to, so, you know, put me on, lay on the couch, fall asleep. It's perfect. You know, I might start advertising it for that. You know, art tutorials are notorious for like sleep aids, at least in my experience. So before you leave, smash the likes. Alright, I think I'm going to leave this one as a nice little cute warm-up, because I don't feel like pursuing cleaning this one up. I'm going to leave it as warm-up. Warm up. It only took 45 minutes, or rather a half an hour, but whatever. It's a good little warm-up sketch. Let's move on to another, not an old lady, let's do something else. Let's do... She's kind of like, well, oh, she's Asian, so let's maybe do... Let's do a Scottish... Not terrier, I don't want to draw a dog. I don't know. dude. I don't know what's gonna come up. That's so funny. Well, I gotta find some other, not slang. Scottish man. With sideburns. All right, look at this. Look at these dudes. That's kind of what I was going for over here. Look at these dudes. Is that McElroy? I think it is. Is he Scottish? That dude's funny as hell looking. For some reason I really want to draw this dude. It's just a little blurry. I think there's another picture of him though. Yeah, it's a little better. Let's draw this dude. Alright, I'm gonna change up the music here. Un momento. Let's play some Star Circuit. Playlist. Let's do that. Some, what do they call it? New wave. Alright. Let's go back to the other layer and see if we can do a better breakdown this time. Better breakdowns. Let's see. This one is definitely going to be easier. A lot less unfamiliarity here. I mean, he does have a weird head, but at least it's like you can see all the forms. Alright. Let's do here. It's pretty much level. It's not a weird angle. It should be cake. Sometimes you just need to sketch phases. It's not usually my approach, and I think that's maybe why I'm not great at them. But we're gonna work at it. That's the whole point. Alright. So one, this dude's forehead is ridiculously weird. Got this giant tumor over here. It's pretty funny. It's kind of like they got this like bean shape going on, some like round shape down here. So if this is the nose, his chin is here, his fat is down here. Funky head shape. What exercises? Kind of depends on your stage in art, but at any time I would say drawing through like Andrew Loomis. This is finger drawing. What is it called? Figure Drawing for All It's Worth by Andrew Loomis is really good. Just read it too. Read it. His like descriptions are crazy good. It's where I base most of my work on, but also for comic books, David Finch has his Gnomon series on heads, hands, and figure drawing, and they're really good. I think going through any of one person's and going through it all the way is good because everybody does things differently. So if you jump from, say, Andrew Loomis to Michael Hampton to Bridgman to Hogarth to whoever else, everybody does it a little differently, and I would jump back and forth a lot, and I think it messed with me. It messed with how I was working. I wouldn't remember the proportions because that's huge. This is like when we say study. When I say study, what it means is that you try to remember, like in math class, you try to remember your math tables and your flashcards or whatever. You know what I mean? Your times tables. There we go. The whole point is to remember these things. So if you can't remember the proportions of the face or which way the ankles are, you know, which side is wider, or you know which side of the wrist and which angle the wrist looks at certain angles, all these things you need to like remember. So that's where the study part comes in. It's not just about having fun, which it really should be. I wish it was, but you need to get to the point where you're having fun doing that, and that's how you're gonna get better. And that's how I've gotten better. If I showed you my beginning sketchbooks, you'll be horrified. You can ask Jeremy. Well, I don't know if Jeremy's seen my early sketchbooks, but he's seen some of my earlier work, and Lord, let's hopefully keep those in my past. At least keep those in my past until I make it. Don't bring them up until I make it in some sort of bigger project I'm in. For keeping that in the dark. All right, so oh, you got a Hogarth book today? Cool. A lot of people recommend that dude. I've got a couple here myself. His books mess with me too. The way he exaggerates. I don't know if I'm how much of a fan of them. I'm much more of a fan of Bridgman and Loomis and Hampton over Hogarth, but his is really good to kind of get, I don't know, like extreme anatomy almost out of your work. Alright. So all depends what your end goal is too. I mean, if you're just trying to do caricature art, maybe you go look at other caricature artists and see what they do. But I draw comics in the comic style, in a pretty traditional comic style, and you know, eventually it doesn't matter in the end because comics can be anything. But yeah, I would suggest you at least stick with one for a little bit and see that what happens there. You know. All right. So his jaw is over here somewhere because he's got the giant bushy things, sideburns or mustache sideburns, mush burns. But yeah, they've got this interesting kind of flow, like flows from here up to his eyeball. Oh, nuts! That shape is probably why I like it so much. This dude is getting girls, bro. My lady loves my burns. Alright. It's pretty level, so what I haven't done already or yet is figured out where his bone structure is. It's more tough when there's extra skin and stuff. It's hard to break everything down. This dude reminds me of Jackie Gleason or something. let's see. Taking a look back here. Seeing what I got. Science went a little too far. Yeah, for I don't know, all character artists love Hogarth. I don't know why. I agree with you. Some reason I have a couple caricature artist kind of friends, um, and I mean I've never been a fan. I'm not like a fan of caricature artists. I mean it's in some way it's what we do in comics, in because it's like cartoons, um, and we exaggerate certain things, but I almost get that feeling. You know that feeling when I don't know. Well, maybe you still you don't really like anime, but it's the kind of feeling when I first started seeing anime, and the super expressiveness of them, and I was like, I'm not sure how much I dig this because it kind of takes me out a little bit, but eventually get into it, and maybe that's how everybody else is. But Hogarth is definitely in that same boat. So my last review with DC Comics um, said that I don't really draw chins with enough length and I guess um, structure. So for some reason I'm focusing there a lot because I think that's maybe from watching anime too much or something. Don't know. But yeah, that's really cool that you're trying to do the comic thing as well. I mean, it's to me, it's like some of us are just kind of naturally drawn to it, where a lot of people aren't. Personally, I think it's the best medium out there. It's like the best of everything. You get like the depth of a novel in a lot of ways, but the art and the culture from art, but at the same time you get the appeal of you know quick storytelling, you know. All right, and believe me, you can totally draw faster and better off stream, like talking. If I shut up, I probably could draw a little better. Actually, I definitely could draw a little better. Not by much, but a little quicker, a little better. Definitely not easy, but I kind of want to do it because eventually you will get good at doing both. I've seen it happen. Alright, I think we have enough to move on to the next stage here. Let's go with a real pencil. Let's do that one. Alright. I'm pretty new talking to editors. Writers, I've got a lot of experience with, but you're preparing and handling your portfolio for editors and writers. Okay, well, the tips I have are as follows. I think you need to keep your, just like any portfolio, pretty simplified. Like, if you're doing this one thing, do that one thing and do it well. Try not to put a whole lot of different stuff in your portfolio. The more you do, the less they can see you fitting into their scheme of things. You know, you want to keep it simple for them to be like, this is what you are in their eyes, you know? So, hold on, I'm just measuring here just to see, like this length to the brow goes about to here, and I think either the head needs to be taller or this needs to be shorter in general. So before I begin, we're going to do that. Let's move the mouth here. I'm just always afraid of the chin being a little weird. So getting back to the portfolio thing, yeah, keep it simplified. And here's another area where everybody has their own opinion about things. But yeah, overall, just keep your best work in there. I'm trying to keep this not so generic because that's what everybody tells you, and to some level, it's not useful to hear. I get that. Um, anyway, let's see. What did I learn this last time? At least. Well, it really depends what you are. If you're an inker, you know, they're not really concerned with how well you're storytelling. You're just really concerned with how your lines are working and how much you complement the penciler. But if you're actually doing storytelling, like a penciler's job or line art, then, you know, obviously you want to have the goal in that situation is to have good storytelling. So you only want to have one or two pieces of pinups and the rest really 3 to 6 pages of sequential, sometimes in a row, sometimes it doesn't have to be, but yeah, that's what you want. Let's zoom in here. All right, I'm gonna try to keep it sketchy and at the same time comic oriented. I've been studying Jim Lee, and he keeps his flow going like a fool. So, a guy also suggested that, because I always wondered what size is best. Like, what size do you print out your portfolio to show people? If you're doing it print, which I suggest. With print, it's easier to rearrange things if you need to on the fly. However, like I said, I've been debating about what size to print at. But somebody recently suggested to me to print out a packet, like a 8.5 by 11 packet of your comic book, or not your book, just your portfolio, and staple it with your business card on the cover page, and just have this nice packet for them. And I think that works out best. It doesn't have to be 8.5 by 11, but make sure it's in like a packet form. Makes it super easy where they don't have to pay attention to, you know, loose paper and the rest. So keep it nice that way, professional that way. And yeah, like I said, only your best work. Try to get people to tell you what they like and what they don't like. You know, if you have a portfolio, man, I'll even check it out. You know, I'm all about checking out other people's art anyway. Kind of gives me ideas for my own. Alright, so the brow's there. This guy's got this like half sad and half like, look at this brow here. It's like it's very strong. And at the same time, he's got this sad lid. He's got the sad lid going on here. Oh yeah, here's one that's come up right now. I think people do prefer traditional over digital, I believe. Um, but yeah, don't worry about the digital or not. I think they just want to see if you got good work. However, I think it's just easier to print it out when you go do like a review in person. I'd say print it out. You know, I think that's your best bet. Also, here's a little piece of advice studying anatomy. I just realized you want something high contrast and preferably black and white like I have here because it allows you to see the values a little easier. And you can more easily see the lines you need to draw that produce the same face and body. Like here he's got a little bit of line, but you don't really see it in this photo, but we know it's there. I think that comes with experience. Like, what do you really need to draw? So, like I said before, do a combination of master studies and anatomy studies, like I'm doing here. Pretty much draw what I draw in these streams, and you'll get better. Like, I'm not doing these streams for teaching, I'm doing these streams for me. Like, not to be overly blunt about my selfish, you know, motivations, but that's what you should be doing too. Not necessarily, you don't have to do on stream, but do what I'm doing these every day that I'm doing them. Work on storytelling one day, work on faces the other day, and probably work on them longer than just these few hours that I am. Try to work on them all day as much as you can. The more you do, the less time it's going to take. I would also say don't be so impatient about where you want to go. I mean, everybody is, and so am I. I'm not exempt, but try to let go of that feeling, because it will only help if you're like, I forget who said it. The guy who owns Quest, the Quest health bars. That dude, I follow him on Instagram. For some reason, he's into comic artists as well, so I suggest you follow him. But yeah, this dude said a good quote. It was like, pretty much be impatient with where you want to go, but have a long-term game plan. So keep everything in mind where you want to be, but realize it's going to take a long time. And at the same time, work like it's going to happen tomorrow. So I realize that's kind of like the best of both worlds for yourself, to like have the realization of things and pretend like it's gonna happen tomorrow, but be prepared that it's not. Either way, you need to get used to just enjoying what you're doing, and then eventually things will start coming together. That I have no doubt. Alright, let's do this. Here's a little tip. See how I'm bulking together all the hair for the face? It's kind of what you want to do for everything, but I'm not so good at it for everything. But things like this, I do the same thing as I do here for like trees and things that are super complex. You want to do... yeah, dude, Colonel Mustard, dude. That's hilarious. It's super funny. Yeah, this is probably the most Colonel Mustardy looking dude I've ever seen. This guy kind of looks like my old buddy from college. If he was old. Oh man. I don't know where to put those lines. I'm gonna find out. Oh, this dude. Colonel Mother and Mustard. Alright. And that looks a little funky, but we'll see if it evens out if I try to do this. No. Let's see what we can do. Dude, being a good draftsman is all about making pretty lines that also inform the sketch in different ways. Let's do some big lines here. Come on, do the same here. Kind of soft there. Let's go here. I think just this eye needs to be dropped a little bit. think it's this eyebrow too. Let's drop it a little bit. Colonel Mustard, dude. Still cracking me up. I need to start inviting guests on stream, that way they can talk for me. Alright, see, there's a little bit of a gap here from there to there. So let's erase that out. I think this is just a little bit too low. So I've been doing Jim Lee studies on the other nights, and man, when he does hair, he just like really is aware of the direction the hair is going, even when he's just scribbling. Like, and it really gives you a, I don't know, like he's aware of where the highlights are, but he's also aware of the direction of the flow of the hair. And here it doesn't really matter because it's all over the place, a little random, but if there is a flow, be aware of it. Texture does a lot. I think this beard goes a little too far out. Alright, maybe it should be more like here. Let's bring it in. Let's rein it in. RJ. Let's see. Is there a particular art style that industry favors over others? Oh yeah, of course, always, and it really depends on which industry you're talking about. But because comics kind of break down into several. I think for the most part, the style that just look at the top books, and that style is it's pretty much heavy realism. If you want to do work at the big two, heavy realism with really dynamic camera angles. So what you need to work on is drawing the figure from weird angles, because the minute you draw a figure from weird angle, it looks just way more interesting than not, because you've never seen a leg come at you that way, or any other way. You know what I mean? Like there's an appeal to that. So heavy realism with a lot of varied angles with your figures. Just draw the figure from everywhere, and it's obviously practice that is going to get you there. Same with me. That's why I'm doing the stream, and I'm sure we'll do a lot of those practices coming up later in the month. But yeah, that's the style. Because there's not much difference between you doing like this Colonel Sanders looking dude and let's just say like Alfred. Like this could be, take away the weird stuff. Well, even with the burns, maybe in some weird alternate universe, this is Alfred. And my style's it's not super clean here, but you can get a cleaner with it, and neither is Jim Lee, but Jim Lee just has really good placement for lines, and the more, see these sketchy lines? Those are the lines that really give life to everything, and those only come with practice because you're just confident. So I'm just gonna shade the back of his head here. I'm going to turn the page a little bit, so bear with me. Switch up the shade a little better here. There we go. Colonel Sanders, bro. What a bad A dude. Okay. We're moving on to the next sketch. We probably got another one of us, one in me. I can do 1.5 an hour. Alright. Any requests? In the meantime, I'm going to pick some music, but let me know if there's any requests for type of face, type of person. I'm putting on some Disaster Piece. He's a comic book, a game composer. Did one of my favorite games, Hyper Light Drifter. Here it is. there a smear on my lens? Is that what this is? Hopefully that helps. Might just be the light. I don't know. Let's think. I don't know what you guys are thinking, but I'm gonna look for. I want to do like a. Let's do a middle-aged man. Black and white. That's funny. I want a black and white photo, fools. What do they call black and white? Is there another tough barbarian face? All right, that can be middle-aged barbarian. I'm in. Middle-aged barbarian man. Okay, well, not this dude. We need photo ref. Ooh, look at that, Conan. Is that what you're looking for? I think this dude's face is probably looks kind of weird from far away, but let's see. Is that clear enough? I don't know if he's barbarian-esque, but I think he's close enough. Lighting's dynamic anyway. Let's do it. Switching back to the rough layer here. Just to give a little rough. This time we're going to try to do this quicker in this early stage. But really try to measure it out. Or we can try the cube method, which is like this. Seems pretty close. Broader chin. And here you can easily see with this photo anyway that we were talking about before with Finch. This is how he draws his mannequins. This is what you're pretty much aiming for here. Is something like this. And there's the front side, so it should be shaved a little bit off there. So up here, let's do that. Okay. And these are all normal angles, so it should be easy. We'll be doing more difficult angles later. I will drill those sweet pecs, dude. If we get to them. Those sweet, sweet pecs. So funny. Okay, here I'm just trying to find the right angles for everything. Hmm. Yeah, dude. Sometimes it just pull up your picture, bro. Alright. If you really want me to draw his pecs, dude, we don't have to, but check it. At least give him his little curly cape or whatever this thing is. barbarian. At least he's a warrior, though. Okay, let's move on. We got 20 minutes. These dark shadows will really help you. Switch over my mechanical because it's just easier to get comic lines out of them. I thought I switched. What did I do? There we go. Yeah, much cleaner lines. Somehow my lines got all jumbled there. Hey, no problem. Yeah, see you next time, RJ. Appreciate it. Trying to figure out where his chin really is down here. Stay. I'm gonna switch sides. Sometimes I run out of screen room and my hand slips, so I'm switching sides. All these lines are so rigid because I'm trying to keep in form without going outside of it, but I think it needs to be adjusted slightly. Oh, hey man. It's all good. Glad you made it. Just doing faces today. I'll show you what I did before. Unless you want a surprise and you want to watch the playback later. Yeah, at least you made it though. Not over yet. Let's do this dude's ear here. Ears are pretty weird, but I actually enjoy doing them because they're all a little bit different, like all the other features. But since they're not super a focal point, you can have fun with them a little bit. Just want to kind of clean up this area. I think it can be done better. It had some energy to it a little bit, but I think it can be better. It's 10:01. I should end. Let me just throw this in here real quick. Try to get a more solid mass out of it. And let's just do a little bit of the hair just to level everything out. this eye is just the only thing that's drying. Just gonna make it a little bit more natural looking. Definitely got some likeness out of everything. Fun faces. Ugh. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's definitely pretty complex. Appreciate all you guys coming and checking it out. I really like Colonel Mustard the best myself. Interesting, you know, interesting face, and I kind of got the shapes with simple forms. Even the old lady turned out pretty cool in like a weird cartoony way. And then our barbarian dude has some decent likeness to him. It's definitely tough. I definitely approach these things differently when I'm on paper as well. It's hard to get, I think it's hard to get the feel right when you're drawing with perfect digital pens, you know? Digital, even ones that have these graphite feel to them, it's still kind of hard to feel. It doesn't feel right, you know? Anyway, we're gonna call it right here where it is. And yeah. We'll leave it as be, as it lies. Thanks for stopping by tonight, though, and I'll see you guys tomorrow at 8 p.m. I think we're gonna do some more anatomy, but next time tomorrow's gonna be like figure drawing, I think, instead of facial stuff. I need to study some more hips. The hips don't lie. Anyway, have a good night, guys. Thanks for chatting with me.